Hello, everybody. It's me, Ross, and good old Stuart Watson for the latest edition of the Boot Room ahead of town's trip to Rotherham this weekend. Stu, we're on Sky. The TV curse is here, but can Kieran McKenna break that curse going into Rotherham? How are you feeling going into this one?
Yeah, it's not ideal being lunchtime kickoff on a Saturday. It doesn't quite feel like the football Easter weekend that we normally get of Good Friday. And I think Monday will be the one that disappoints Ipswich fans the most. That could have been a really good Easter Monday crowd at Portman Road for the Wigan game. Instead, that's going to be a Tuesday night. But Saturday it is, and as you say, that's because of Sky picking it for TV and. Doesn't normally bode well for Ipswich, does it? It's an absolutely abysmal record on television. Since that Noel Hunt late winner against Charlton back in 2014, that playoff season, Ipswich have played 34 games on TV and they've won three wins. So that's just a little narrative for Kieran McKenna to hopefully change. Next season he can address the cup records, but if he can get a little TV win, that would just add to a sense of things beginning to change for Ipswich Town as they head off into the summer.
Indeed, and Rotherham are the opponents, and Rotherham are a team that know League One very well, and their form recently has not been great. One win in the last seven, three straight defeats, a 3-0 defeat on Tuesday night. Kieran McKenna was there watching Rotherham play Pompey, and well, when we normally play them, they normally boss us off the park. But this could be a very different game going into this one.
Possibly, yeah, you're right. Ipswich have played Rotherham 3 times since relegation to League One. In that first season when they dropped down, outthought men versus boys in a couple of those games, and Rotherham went up to the Championship, gave it a really good go, have come back down, and it was exactly the same earlier in the season when they came to Portman Road and were comfortable 2-0 winners, weren't they? So we know what they're all about. They're big, they're physical, they're direct, but they can play a bit as well. Dan Barley's spraying the ball left and right from the base of midfield. Bene has got lightning pace down the right side. Michael Smith, the target man up front. Ladapo is a good foil for him up top. And then people like Ben Wiles and Jamie Lindsay are sort of snapping at heels in midfield. So I don't know how much to read into their current form. They looked home and hosed, a month or so ago, but the wheels have well and truly come off, as you've outlined, and they've dropped out the top three. Will they be fired up and motivated to really get themselves back on track on Saturday, or will there be a bit of nerviness and edginess in the crowd that Ipswich can take advantage of? That will be interesting to see how this game starts.
Indeed, and talking points going into the game, of course, is Elkan Baggott. Of course, Cameron Burgess is suspended for this game. Will Kieran McKenna give Elkan his league debut? He's been on the bench. He's been in this travelling squad, trained with the first team pretty much most of this season. A lot of Town fans will be very interested to see if McKenna will put him in. And would you put him in the first 11 in that back three?
I just wonder whether the fact it is Rotherham might, in a strange way, play into Elkan Baggott's hand, because they are what I've outlined. They're direct. They've got Michael Smith wins a lot of balls in the air. Elkan's 6'4". He's decent in the air. He's left-footed as well, which means he might be a natural one to slide into that left side of a back three role. And the fact that he didn't play for the under-23s at Bristol earlier this week might suggest that he's in mind for this game. Dominic Thompson, of course, came off the bench at Shrewsbury last weekend. Elkan wasn't on the bench. He was on the bench for a couple of games, then he dropped out the squad. So Dominic Thompson came on and played left side of that back three. So it will be a toss-up between those two. But I think we all quite like seeing homegrown players make their league debut. And whether it will be this weekend or not, I don't know. But Kieran McKenna said that there's every chance the young Indonesian international will get some game time between now and the end of the season.
I think Sky would like to see that as well, because he's got a massive following, and I'm sure all of his supporters will be tuning in for that one to see if he starts. So Sky will be going, oh, okay, where are all these millions of viewers from Indonesia coming in? But I like that. Quickly before we get to predictions, any other positions you would see Norwood, is he going to start again? He scored on the weekend. Will he change them 10 roles? Will Luco and Chaplin start together? Will it Selena? And who do you reckon?
Yeah, it's that front three is always difficult to call, isn't it? Under McKenna, there's been heavy rotation there from game to game. James Norwood has started the last 3 in a row. He did score at Shrewsbury last weekend. I think he's playing well enough to retain his place up front. He's obviously out of contract in the summer. I just wonder if McKenna's going to give him a little prolonged look now to make an informed decision on whether he stays or goes in the summer. The 2 number 10s is always interesting. We had Chaplin and Aluko last weekend at Shrewsbury. Normally one at least changes from game to game. I'd be wanting Selena in the team. I was surprised to see him drop out. He's someone that I think has made it clear that he wants to return to Ipswich. I think Ipswich will want to try and keep him. Selena and Chaplin would be my guess. But it is just a guess, as always, on that front. And then on the left of the team, if Dominic Thompson, if Baggott does play in defence, then is it Thompson back on the left instead of Matt Penny? Maybe he's seen as a bit more defensively solid for this type of game against Rotherham. But I think the rest of the team pretty much picks itself. You'd imagine that Backinson will get the run alongside Sam Morsey. Again, is another player that Ipswich have got a decision to make in the summer.
And prediction then time, Stu. Can we break this TV curse? Can we make it 4 wins out of 35 games? What do you reckon then? Can we get a win, or are you going to go for a point?
I am going to go for a point. Yeah, I'm going to go for the same as last weekend at Shrewsbury, 1-1. Rotherham are struggling for goals at the moment. Ipswich are struggling for goals as well. I think ultimately it might end up in a stalemate, this one. So that's what I've gone for. I know your prediction as well because we've just done the podcast. So go on.
Yeah, ditto as well. I think 1-1. And I said Elkan Baggott to score on his league debut because why not? That would be a great headline for you and it'll be a great day for him. And yeah, you like to see a homegrown player score on their debut. You know, we've seen it in the past with Andre Lascelles and the likes of that. But it should be a very interesting game. It's disappointing it isn't a Good Friday game and it isn't an Easter Monday game, but I'm sure Town fans will be full on force at Rotherham. Hope you enjoy the game. Stu, thanks for joining us. Make sure to follow the coverage with us at Rotherham this weekend. And we're bringing you much insight and much more videos coming soon. So enjoy that. I'll be back next time for another edition of The Boot Room.